天是美国药物学和干细胞生物学研究领域接触颇多，他会从大家刚才前面也跟抗衰老的角度是吧？什么更多的健康养生的角度来给我们看看美国国外专家的观点和他们研究的成果，大家欢迎。
My name is Guilin. I am a neuroscientist. I received my doctorate training in stem cell biology, particularly neural stem cell biology, and how the brain develops. I spent the last 15 to 20 years working on brain tumors, trying to develop a cure for brain tumor patients. But before I developed a cure, I went to develop one of the best skincare products known to improve beauty, as well as to be quite useful for cancer patients that suffer from skin damage as a result either from their disease and or from the drugs that they take that cause skin damage itself. So I will talk today a bit about the paradigm shift, as I describe it, of how we will change cosmetic skincare and healthcare in general. And I will talk about the science a little bit on how we plan to get this done and how we can integrate this new information that's been developed into cosmetics and integrated into healthcare as well as other spa environments where people try to improve their beauty. The talk will be divided into a few sections that I will have brief discussions over. We'll first start about this philosophical change in cosmetics. We'll then talk a little bit about the traditional cosmetic approaches and then the science behind the new approach to cosmetics and how this can be used to improve cosmetic care and in combination with other therapies and care available in the healthcare system. Okay, so the philosophical change. Effectively, what we're talking about is taking information that we learned or developed through biology and or stem cell biology of the skin and applying it to the cosmetic field. This is a growing trend that's been starting in the last several years, if you will, and the overall objective is to improve the healthness and or wellness of patients in both the hospital system environment as well as in the beauty and cosmetic industry. And we think that by bringing these two worlds together, we can improve the overall healthcare of patients. Now, this whole new change and shift in how we would deliver cosmetics should follow some of the basic rules of new developments in general, including some of the demands that some of the people in the beauty and healthcare industry would like to see. This includes bringing in environmentally friendly products. It includes also minimizing the use of animals in the development of these new products. We want to make sure also that the new science allows this particular market to grow in a very sustainable way. And since it's on a global level, we want to ensure that we have a good fair trade philosophy sort of driven by intellectual property and or patents. Okay. So traditional cosmetics is always really focused in on improving the beauty of a person's face, if you will. And particularly the targeted market has been young women who want to enhance their beauty. The general approach has been to increase the moisture and the way in which skin holds water in order to improve the beauty of their face and their skin. Over time, the field has brought in new developments to help improve and promote this objective, including making use of good plant products like red rice and argan that's taken from plants that grow in dry environments and are used to holding on water and maintaining hydration. Beyond that, it has advanced to bringing in other chemical products like tensors that lightly tighten the skin to improve the appearance by minimizing fine lines and wrinkles. Also, light refractive materials can be found in these cosmetics. You can rub over the lines and the wrinkles. It fills in that space, and when light shines upon it, it gives the appearance of a reduction in fine lines and wrinkles. These are all transient approaches to improving the beauty and or the appearance of skin. A growing trend has started by introducing biology, if you will, to this whole approach. And much of this biology can be found in the area of stem cell biology. And I will now introduce or talk a little bit about the science underlying this. And the international language of science is something I'm a lot better communicating than my Chinese. So, I just want to show you here on this image, to the left, it's a drawing of the outer layer of the skin, the epithelial cell layer. At the top, you have the outside environment, the keratin structures at the top. It's a multi-layered epithelial cell layer. And at the bottom of this image, we have, with the arrows pointing to, the basal layer, which holds stem cells and progenitors. And in general, the way it works is these stem cells, progenitors divide, and they generate new epithelial cells that migrate to the top. And this is how the skin participates in repair mechanisms. When we're younger, like 5 and 6, we have many more stem cells in this tissue compartment than we have as we start to age, as well as aging to the level of high school or teenage years on up through our adult years. So how does this work? When we're 5, 6 years old, we have some sort of damage, scratch to the skin. The stem cells are quite good at replacing those cells and totally getting rid of the damage or the scar to the point where it's basically non-visible a few days or even a few weeks after the damage to the skin. As we age, even as early as when we become teenagers and or young adults, if we have damage to the skin epithelial cell layer, the stem cells are less efficient at this repair process, and we can sometimes begin to see scars. As we age even more, we begin to develop fine lines and wrinkles, because the stem cells have been reduced not only in their number in the skin, but also in their ability to promote repair. And this is how we develop fine lines and wrinkles. So the new wave, or the paradigm shift here that I refer to, is taking the advances we have from traditional cosmetic chemistry and combining them with the new biology to generate new products that are even better at improving the appearance of skin and promoting skin quality. Another level of science here. Us scientists have looked at the cellular and molecular mechanisms by which these skin stem cells and epithelial cells behave. We now have a very strong understanding as to how the skin works in this repair environment. We make use of this science and we apply it to the cosmetic field in order to make better cosmetic products. So effectively what we're doing is we're changing the microenvironment of the skin or the epithelial cell layer through the use of our cosmetics. This changes how the cells behave, including the stem cells, how the epithelial cells change, the molecules that they produce like collagen and elastin, molecules that we know are quite useful in improving the appearance of skin. And this also helps in the promotion of cell repair and damage. So how do we apply these new cosmetics to healthcare and beauty in general? Well, this particular approach can be quite useful for patients in the hospitals, including cancer patients and other patients that take drugs that cause skin damage. It can also be used in spas, areas that make use of various other techniques that we'll briefly talk about that have tried to promote the appearance of skin. And we can combine those old approaches with this new cosmetic approach to get even better results in the spas. And we'll talk briefly about that. And through the combination of these traditional approaches and these new cosmetic approaches, we think we can improve skin repair. So we can expand the use of cosmetics to go beyond just improving beauty, to also, as I said, to work for patients. So here's just a quick slide that shows you a cancer patient here to the left. Because of the chemotherapeutic drugs that she takes, she ends up with some level of skin damage. Now, we want to be able to make sure we improve the overall wellness and health of these patients, so we can use some of these cosmetics so that the skin damage caused by the drugs is minimized. And while these patients go fight this devastating disease and take these drugs that can sometimes have these horrible side effects, they can have a better sense of self and improved health. As I mentioned before, tanning salons, they make use of UV devices that effectively cause some damage to the skin, and they rely on the skin's ability to repair itself to improve beauty. This can have a variety of side effects through the use of this approach, and when combined with cosmetics, can improve the outcome for these individuals. Skin peels, another technique used in spas. skin peel, again, makes use of the skin's ability to repair itself. You are literally ripping off outer epithelial cell layers and counting on the skin to generate new epithelial cells to repair itself. If we utilize this approach with these advanced cosmetics, we have better outcomes. Botox, very common approach used in doctors' offices and their spas. We're introducing a toxin by injecting it directly into the skin, which causes damage. And the toxin relies on the body's biology or immune system to get rid of that toxin, generate an inflammatory response, which brings water and cells to the area, which fills in the space between these fine lines and our wrinkles. Another transient approach to improve beauty. If we combine this with our cosmetics that help the skin promote repair, we get better outcomes. So this particular slide here is just to give you a brief introduction as to how this particular approach, change in technology, change in cosmetics, has a substantial impact, if you will, on the market. And this, obviously, business is what can drive these markets, and so this data is very important. And effectively what it shows is the cosmetic industry is a growing industry, slightly less than 10% annually, and that these anti-aging cosmetics have a particular amount of market share in this, more than a third of the market share, and I believe this will continue to increase over the years. And so this is how I choose to describe the paradigm shift here at the conference, and this is why I think that this will change the way in which we do cosmetics moving forward based on the new biology, the new science that's being developed in laboratories, and the multiple ways in which we can integrate it into the cosmetic and healthcare industry today. Thank you very much.